Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So the topic I have to talk to you about involves esports, which isn't the sort of topic I would normally cover, except for the fact that it also involves alleged scamming and business ethics, which puts it right up my alley. This is a topic which has been very well covered extensively by other YouTubers, and a couple of their videos can be found down below. Basically what this boils down to is to two well-known gaming YouTubers, Pro Syndicate and T Martin, inviting their subscribers to gamble on a website which they themselves owned without adequately disclosing the link. I will explain more in depth as we go, but before we go any further, we have to lay out the type of gambling which is at the heart of the story and how it all works. So this story revolves around the concept of gambling skins in the popular online multiplayer shooter Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Counter-Strike GO has rapidly become one of the world's most popular games, with one estimate putting the growth in players at around 1500% in just 2 years, and along with this growth has come tradable items within the game, most notably skins. Skins are essentially cosmetic items that don't affect gameplay itself, but rather they change the way the in-game weapons look to a variety of finishes, and these can be bought and traded for sums of money anywhere from a few cents up to several $1,000s for the rarest skins on the Steam marketplace. Now the way you get skins in Counter-Strike is by them dropping as you're playing the game, but you can also get them in weapons cases that drop randomly as well at the end of each game that you play. These cases require you to purchase a virtual key from Valve, the company that makes the game, which costs $2.50 a pop to open the case and receive some random skins. These skins can then be sold on the market for profit. However, the maximum limit that you can sell something for on the market is $400, so oftentimes the more expensive items are sold by trading them for a specific number of these $2.50 keys. For example, if you have a skin valued at $2,500 by an independent valuation website, then you could trade that item for 1,000 of these keys and then resell the keys back to the marketplace to make your money back. However, what the story is based around is another concept. Instead of selling these skins back to other users, using them as chips in online gambling instead, which has, according to one source, shifted the focus of the game from the gameplay and actually shooting terrorists in the head over to the tradable items market. As such, many websites dedicated to gambling these items have popped up, some creating their own betting games and others betting on the outcomes of e-sport events. And it was estimated by Bloomberg that in 2015 alone, $2.3 billion of these skins were bet on esports matches. Now this takes us neatly to the story which we are here to look at. The story of one of these betting websites, CSGOLotto, and its two founders, Trevor Martin aka T Martin of YouTube fame, and Tom Cassell aka Syndicate of YouTube fame as well. So what we're going to do is go through events chronologically up until the first raft of controversy hit the website. From then I'm going to deconstruct some of the problems with events as they unfolded and look at the bigger picture of CSGO gambling and Steam's involvement in it. So according to company president T Martin, the idea for CSGOLotto first came to him sometime in 2015 when he and Syndicate were sitting in a hotel pool and thinking about ideas for new CSGO gambling websites. In March 2015, they decided to register CSGOLotto Incorporated in Florida as per the company records that were dug up by several YouTubers, links down below. Now at this point it should be noted that after the controversy broke, T Martin deleted all of his CSGO content, so Syndicate's publicly available content is all we have to go on for this video, but 4 months or so from when the company was registered, Syndicate all of a sudden began producing CSGO videos for his YouTube audience. And as far as his channel shows, he didn't make CSGO content before this point. He started making these CSGO unboxing videos, which is where he'd open a weapons case and show off the skins which he got inside, oftentimes finding really good items. The first of these videos was called "Oh My Fucking Gaben!" which was published on July the 13th, 2015. Over the next year or so, he would publish 28 of these videos. More on them later. The next part, however, is where the controversial stuff begins, because in addition to these 28 case opening videos, Syndicate as well as T Martin published numerous CSGO gambling videos on their YouTube channels, and each and every one of these videos used the same website, aka their website, CSGOLotto.com, and they all showcased large wins on the site and in general would seem to be outright promotion of the site. Take a look.
Is nobody else gonna snipe this pot? Oh my gosh. Oh my god!
Oh my god, bro. Please, Trevor, win this shit. Oh, you won it. You fucking.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
I've never seen. We won already! Look at that!
Yeah, just not.
Oh! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. We're stepping it up now to a $200 bet. Oh man, I want to just go on a streak of winning and winning and winning.
Now, of course, this would appear to be a conflict of interest here. You have people closely tied to this website promoting it through their YouTube videos that seem to be aimed at what is called native marketing. You can read more about that down below. Now, this is typically where Federal Trade Commission regulations come into play, because you see on YouTube you're not allowed to promote a product or service without disclosing the fact that you're being paid to advertise it. If you do, this gets you in trouble with the FTC, and there have been many cases of this happening in the gaming community in the past. In fact, these are rules which Syndicate in particular should have been well aware of, given he's been caught in 2 previous incidents involving the FTC. One where Machinima were taken to court over a dodgy Xbox One promotion deal, and he was part of that, and the second involving his partnership in Dead Realm, a game that he played on his channel. And so when we're talking about the conflict of interest here, there are actually a lot of layers to the fact that these two own this website. For a start, we have disclosure. Now, what H3H3 Productions got wrong in his video was that yes, it was disclosed in the description of all of Syndicate's unboxing and betting videos that the video was brought to you by CSGOLotto. There was disclosure there, though I should note it was hidden below the Show More tab. Weighing against this disclosure, T Martin's videos had absolutely no disclosure in the descriptions whatsoever, which a quick trip through the Wayback Machine will show you, so arguably it's a lot more serious. And speaking of T Martin, the second aspect to this layer cake are the actions of him in promoting the site as director of CSGOLotto. At one point during his videos on this topic, he literally played the site off as being a new website that he'd simply stumbled upon by accident and only just happened to be betting on, and if he wasn't directly lying to his audience in these clips, he was cutting it really fine.
I've been starting to bet a little bit more. Like Brock, like obviously you guys know he loves betting. He's posted a ton of betting videos on his channel and stuff. And he's been hitting me up. And we found this new site called CSGOLotto. So I'll link it down in the description if you guys want to check it out. But we were betting on it today and I won a pot of like $69 or something like that. So it's a pretty small pot, but it was like the coolest feeling ever.
And not only that, but then he goes on to talk about how he followed the company, which he is the president of, on Twitter, and then they hit him up for a sponsorship deal.
And I ended up like following them on Twitter and stuff, and they hit me up and they're talking to me about potentially doing like a skin sponsorship. Like they'll give me skins to be able to bet on the site and stuff. And I've been like considering doing it. Like I think that'd be kind of cool.
Which, if it is correct, is probably the most bizarre sponsorship deal in the history of esports. Not only this, but as mentioned elsewhere, the fact that the business was owned by these two YouTubers wasn't exactly widely publicized, which is yet another layer to this thing. The business isn't listed on T Martin's LinkedIn as H3H3 found. H3H3 couldn't find any case of them publicly disclosing ownership of this, though a couple of other YouTubers have found little incidents where they stuffed up and the ownership was sort of disclosed by accident.
Let's go, boys! Alright, so I'm gonna open up my trade offers. Dude, I think because I'm an admin on the site, like they modded me, I think it messes up my timers. Because my timers look different than everybody else's.
Be.
But as far as disclosure goes, that's about it. The owners aren't listed on the website itself, the domain is privately registered, so the only way you would know that this company was owned by these two and a couple of other esports people would be to do a company record search, which is exactly what ended up happening. Now that's not to say that owning a betting website or making a sponsorship deal with one is inherently wrong or bad, it's just that in this case disclosure hasn't been forthcoming, and as such that raises some serious doubts. And that's all that I will say about that. This brings us to the site itself and how it works. So as you already know, CSGOLotto is a skin betting website that currently runs 3 games, High Roller, Duel Arena and 30 Max. The High Roller and 30 Max games seem to work by people putting CSGO items into a pool and then betting them on a certain outcome. The winner of the game then takes all of the skins in the pool. Dueling, which was the form of gambling that was promoted in these videos, works like this. 2 people put up a number of skins worth roughly the same amount. Then a virtual coin is tossed. Whoever wins the coin toss takes all of the skins, so you have a 50-50 chance ostensibly of losing everything or winning. Weapon skins on the site are valued by Steam analysts, and once you win, a bot account is supposed to deliver the items to your Steam account. Of course, the house isn't letting people play for free, so it maintains a house edge, which is a commercial betting term, of 8%, which means that the house takes 8% of the value of each bet in skins, so by promoting the site, any new customers they attracted would have a direct financial benefit back through the company and straight to its owners. So now that we know what kind of activities are going on the website, it's time to look at the terms of service. The earliest version we have is from the 4th of July 2016, which is the day after H3H3 made the expose video. In this terms of service it clearly states that all gamblers have to be over the age of 18. However, this could have changed in the meantime, but as of right now, people under 18 aren't allowed to play on the site. Furthermore, there are also a very extensive set of liability protections in their terms of service, which makes it quite difficult to sue them, including that any legal action has to take place a year from when the incident happened, or it's null and void. It's not anything too unusual on the whole, but it's certainly trying to cover their ass. Another aspect worth mentioning is that they have numerous complaints from customers on their Steam group. In particular, there have been 2 core complaints. Firstly, that it takes forever for the site to respond to support tickets, to the point where people are assuming the worst and assuming that they're just scamming people. The second and more interesting complaint is that items have been disappearing from bots that the site uses to deliver the winnings on a consistent basis for months on end. Items have been eaten up when people deposit them, when they win games, they're just disappearing, and where all the items are going is simply not known, and nothing seems to have been done about fixing the bots. Now these could be simple technical support issues, or they could be something more sinister. That is really up to the viewer to decide. Now to wrap up the saga, we have the reactions to the controversy. For his part, Syndicate has been basically quite quiet about the entire thing, leaving his videos up, while T Martin on the other hand has been rather more vocal. He initially published an apology of sorts on Twitter and then followed up with a video in which he claimed that ownership of the site was public knowledge, which is a claim you can weigh against the evidence which I've previously covered. Another form of response has come in the form of CSGOLotto and its owners being added to a pending lawsuit against Valve over all of the skin gambling activity, where a lot of parents and their kids seem to have been caught in some sort of financial woe due to this gambling. An actual investigation by the FTC doesn't seem to have eventuated. They also changed the description of the site on their Steam group to advertise the website as a sweepstakes, which I should point out could place it under Florida's stringent sweepstakes law, which specifies that no commercial interest shall run a game of chance on anything more than an occasional basis, and then only to advertise a product. That's just something worth mentioning. So what's the verdict here? Well, while it's difficult to say outright that they're aiming their gambling services at kids given the available evidence, though they might have been, they still failed to disclose their conflict of interest in their attempt to create native advertising. And whether that is something which is acceptable or unacceptable is going to be something which is up to their fans and the courts to decide. As for Steam's role in a site like this, their attitude is very much hands off. Websites like CSGOLotto are built using the Steam Web API, a framework they allow developers to use to log into people's Steam accounts, which allows them to trade items. However, the terms of service for the API includes both the prohibition of people doing anything illegal with it and several sections that waive Steam of any legal liability whatsoever. It should also be noted that Valve makes direct profit from these gambling sites because they make 15% on every item sold on the Steam market and $2.50 for every key used for making these trades of the more expensive items. Whether or not this means that Steam is acting in an illegal or unethical way by allowing these sites to flourish very much looks like it's something that is up in the air at the moment. I've been Dangerous Analysis, thank you to all of my patrons and subscribers, and as always,
Good night and good luck.